Hello and welcome to the Shark Pond. This is Pop Culture Shark. I'm Final Monkey.
And I'm Caleb.
And today we are going to be talking about the Nintendo Direct. And on the same day, they had a Sony State of Play. I think that's what they call those.
Yep,
So we
state of
talk about
play.
some of those. Then we got a bunch of news. So it's going to be kind of a catch up day on everything that's going on.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
before,
Recently we've been. Oh yeah, recently we've been doing a lot of reviews and review shows. Uh, Even us just talk about what's going on.
yeah. So we got a pretty long list, so some of these things we're going to talk just very briefly about, but we'll just kind of hit what we want to hit and see what you all think about it. But before we get to all that, Caleb, how you been doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Recently just been I'm playing some Pokemon, playing some Destiny. Uh, I had someone recommend to me because they found out that I grew up on Digimon. Apparently, there's this new Digimon show that just ended this year, so it like started in 2021, uh, and ended probably March of this year. And they said that I should watch it. It's Digimon, but it is a little more, it's more for us as adults now. And within the first scene of this show, I'm like, oh, this is a horror anime. uh, it is horrifying, and I'm just like, wow, this started as a children's show, and now it's horrifying. uh, so it's a lot of fun. Um Made me think because we were talking about what anime we'd want to see adapted in live action. I'm like, Detective Pikachu did pretty good. I think we could see some Digimon at some point. The thing with Digimon though is they're not furry creature friends. They are uh, for the most part dinosaurs.
Yeah.
um, Other than that, not much else. I've still been working on my Gunpla. Been working on it for about a week, and I have two halves of a leg. I just haven't put them together yet. So yeah, that those will be fun. But yeah, how about yourself? I know you've been going on a deep dive into Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah. Everybody in my house has been sick, so I'm a little low energy today. So we'll see how this goes today. I Friday I was like, I really want to watch Mortal Kombat 1, but I hadn't watched Aftermath. So I watched Aftermath first. I watched all that. And then I watched all Mortal Kombat 1 story mode, and then I watched all the endings. So yeah, I've been mainlining Mortal Kombat pretty crazy this weekend.
What did you
Uh,
think of Aftermath? I actually wasn't a fan of it.
I liked it. I like Shang Tsung, so him, you know, being up. Uh, we'll talk about Aftermath again after you eventually experience Mortal Kombat 1 story mode. I'll put it that
Okay.
way.
Okay. Okay. I think my
um,
favorite thing about Mortal Kombat 1 is they have Shujinko's cameo fatality, which is the 5 point palm exploding heart technique from Kill Bill.
yeah, that's pretty great. Overall, I enjoyed Mortal Kombat 1 story mode. I, I don't play them as much as I used to the Mortal Kombat games, but I do like the lore. And they make nice little movies to watch on YouTube. So yeah, it's pretty good. I feel like if I had some complaints, I feel like Scorpion's not that great in this.
I
Um,
was concerned about that because the way that Liu Kang has remade the universe, he made Scorpion and Sub Zero blood brothers. And I was concerned about how that would affect Scorpion's character.
yeah, it's like they removed like the interesting part of his character.
Well, I
um,
also think it's really funny because it's like super racist on Liu Kang's part because uh Scorpion, Hanzo Hasashi,
Mm.
is Japanese, and the Sub-Zero brothers are Chinese.
Yeah, we'll talk about it after you experience it. Some of the endings kind of set up some stuff, so maybe they'll fix some stuff going forward. But
Okay.
right now, I was not too impressed with Sub Zero and Scorpion. The other thing is, since we are seeing what Liu Kang did, everybody's kind of, with the exception of like Shang Tsung, everybody's kind of like goody two shoes. you know,
Hmm.
it's like Melina is like nice now and stuff, and it's kind of like you remove some of the edge a little bit. I don't know. I mean, it was still a fun watch, but I was just kind of like, I guess I noticed it more when I got to the endings. Everybody's endings were like, "Yay, peace and joy," and I was like, something feels off here.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm still salty that we're not going to get to see the combat kids anytime soon. That being Cassie, Jackie, Takeda's going to be DLC, and Kung Jin. I loved Mortal Kombat X. It's my favorite Mortal Kombat game, and I love the combat kids. Um, they
I
really
can't
should.
comment. I can't comment on the combat kids. There's a lot of stuff I cannot comment on because I, to, you'll see it when you watch the story mode. But I felt like they combined two Mortal Kombat games into one story, and I would have split it off. And the ending part feels kind of rushed, although the ending part is total insanity. It reminded me of the ending of Sharknado 5 when everything just went bonkers. And I was like, what am I watching? So,
Okay.
and some of it was really cool, and some of it was really cringe. And if you've experienced the Mortal Kombat story mode, you know what I'm talking about. So, it might make for some interesting DLC going forward, character DLC.
Okay.
I'll say that also. Um, but yeah, overall, I really liked it. It's only on like what the PS5 right now and stuff. It's not like on the PS4, right?
No, no. PS5, Series X.
I think the
So
Switch.
it's on Switch, but like I'm
Yeah,
not playing Mortal Kombat on Switch.
yeah.
Armageddon on the Wii was pretty fun though, but I didn't do any motion controls.
Oh yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, like I said, overall liked it. Uh, Johnny Cage is constantly quoting movies in this one, so I mean that kind of gets old after a while. You're like,
Yeah,
okay,
and so I've said this before. You know how okay, so Johnny Cage is my favorite. Um, Johnny Cage is my favorite fighting game character. One of my favorite video game characters of all time. Uh, I'm very particular about my Johnny Cage. What you just said upsets me. I have
I
no
mean,
idea
he
that
he
he.
has a good story arc though in it and stuff. It's still
Okay.
him and Kenshi have some interesting uh,
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool.
rivalry in it. I will say this: YouTube sucks. They have made it so that really nobody can show anything on this game without it being censored. I had to really look around to find somebody that was showing the story mode uncut. A lot of scenes, like a lot of people I was watching, had to pull away from certain scenes or put it all in black and white just because YouTube would
Yeah.
not let them show stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I know that Maximilian. Uh,
Hmm.
like whenever he edits his videos, like if they do a fatality or like an X-ray move or
Yeah,
something like that, they got
yeah,
to go into like negative mode or something.
it's really funny on his show. It's like, oh look, they're playing patty cake or they're making pasta.
Right.
um, so yeah, that is frustrating because to me, if you're watching Mortal Kombat, you know what you're getting into, and uh, just a year ago, YouTube was not like this. Um, and I feel like this is the type of moves that will eventually lead to YouTube's undoing if they don't undo it.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of companies right now that are making really dumb choices, and we're going to talk about that in the news today. um,
um,
so I think that's it for me. Other than I've pretty much destroyed Vampire Survivors. I might get the DLC. I don't know, but yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the news and see what's going on.
cool. First thing, very surprising. We got an Aquaman 2 trailer. Moving on, we are yeah. I just want to talk about the fact that we got an Aquaman 2 trailer and then move on because I don't care.
I don't think anybody cares, and other than I get Amber Heard is a I don't
Well,
even want to say it on YouTube, but she's a
we'll go back to this. That doesn't even look like Amber Heard. That just looks like an AI rendition of White Woman.
yeah. But I know like a lot of YouTube's channels are talking about this just because they're talking about her, and I'm sick of talking about her.
Yeah.
And as I heard someone say that even Jason knows that this
Momoa.
movie's trash. Yeah, and he's like, yeah. So I think everybody's ready just to move on.
I think he's really banking on being cast as Lobo at this point.
Yep. And I think Warner Brothers needs to get this movie out the door and then take their nice little 2 year break or 3 year or whatever, and then come back with strong with a new Superman movie. That's
Yep.
just me.
But yeah, so moving on. One Piece has officially been renewed for season 2, so we're already off to a better start than Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah. And they haven't said how many episodes. Let's assume it's 8 episodes. I assume that will get us into the crocodile stuff. It'll definitely get us to Tony Chopper, and Jamie Lee Curtis has expressed interest in playing a character in the Tony Chopper story, so we'll see if that happens. So yeah, and I think the producers they said that they would love to do 12 seasons, but they've got kind of like 6 seasons planned out. I don't
And
know if Netflix will do that.
I
Netflix
think
is
they're
notorious for canceling shows after 4 seasons or 3 seasons. So we'll
well,
see.
so their default is 2 seasons. So I think they're lucky if they get 3 seasons.
They have to prove that this show is still bringing in new viewers. So the one thing this show does have going for it is that it was a massive hit worldwide. So if it continues to bring in new viewers overseas, then maybe it'll get multiple seasons. But
I'm
like I
gonna
said,
call it right
Netflix
now.
is.
You're
I'm
not
thinking
getting
3 seasons. I
yeah,
think 3 seasons.
you're not getting 6 seasons. I don't care how good your show is. If you're on Netflix, you're not getting 6 seasons.
Unless your name is Stranger Things. But well, how many did it
Even
get?
then, so I think the last season is going to be the season 5 or whatever.
5? Yeah.
Um, and the thing is with Stranger Things was kind of like their first big hit, and so I think it's kind of like a little bit like that. Like that, Stranger Things getting 5 seasons was before they started putting out a bunch of crap.
Yeah, and I think it's
Uh,
amazing that Cobra Kai is getting a final season. And I think the first 2 seasons of that was made by
YouTube.
YouTube.
Yep.
So, you know, it is actually shocking that they are getting a final season
Oh
because
yeah,
a lot of people
yeah.
did not think that that was happening.
No,
So,
Cobra Kai is an anomaly in the Netflix space.
yep.
But yeah, like Stranger Things and House of Cards, like the multiple seasons. That's just how it worked. But now we're at the point of 2 seasons and your show's done with Netflix.
Now we'll put an asterisk by that unless this show doesn't cost much to make, but I feel like this show's kind of expensive. The
It
sets and
has to
stuff that
be.
they have.
Yeah.
I know they filmed a lot of it in like Southern Africa, so maybe they got some type of tax credit deal or something down there, or some sets that they were able to use. But it's a lot of sets they were building, so I don't know.
hmm But yeah, next up, I just wanted to touch on this. We have Uh, Cyberpunk 2077 is coming out with their big expansion, Phantom Liberty, this month. And I'm really excited to see what this does because, unfortunately, I mean, it was deserved. The Cyberpunk 2077 game does not have a great reputation because it was kind of Duke Nukem Forever, where it was in development for so long, released in a really bad state, and for all intents and purposes, it should have been dead on arrival. Um, and yet, Edge Runners has kept it alive, and
Mm-hmm.
now Phantom Liberty. First of all, Phantom. If you look at like the UI for Phantom Liberty, they're using a lot of stills and silhouettes from Edge Runners to represent. So like they know what has kept them alive is Edge Runners,
Mm-hmm.
and so from what I've seen, this is a whole new game. Like it is an expansion, but the way the UI is, the way the gameplay is, this is a whole new game. And so I'm very interested to see if Phantom Liberty can bring back the game in general.
Yeah.
Plus Idris Elba's in it, so that's fun.
Yeah. I also kind of feel like he's in everything. So,
Well, he's gonna
uh,
cancel the apocalypse.
yeah.
I love Pacific Rim. You wanted to talk about this, and then I looked into it. I forgot what Fables was, uh, but now that I have remembered what Fables is and what is going on with it, this is very interesting.
Yeah, we still have not heard a response from DC on this. Basically, if you don't know, Fables is a comic book that was put out through, I think it was DC's Vertigo line, and then brought back into DC by Bill Willingham. And just basic, really quick. It's about the Fables on the run. They moved into a town in New York called Fabletown, and they're trying to live among humans. And there's an adversary. One of the Fables is kind of hunting them down, and that's why they had to flee. Really good book series. I've read quite a bit of it.
If people are familiar with it, it's because of the Telltale game, The Wolf Among Us.
Or the ripoff of it, Once Upon a Time, or whatever it was called on ABC,
Right.
because they literally shopped this show to them, and they're like, "Oh no, we'll pass," and then they made their own show and ripped it off.
Right.
Anyhow, uh, basically, DC has not honored Bill Willingham's deals and stuff for years and years and years, and so he did something drastic. Since this is a creator-owned comic, he made it go public domain. Um, so I'm still not quite 100% sure what all this entails because there still are contracts where DC is publishing the comic book and the games are through DC and stuff. So it's a little limiting what you can actually do with it. Um, and I'm sure the second someone tries to do something with these characters, DC will sue them. So be wary until this kind of the dust settles here. Um, but yeah, if other creators decide to do this, like I don't know, like what Neil Gaiman's situation with Sandman is and stuff, this could start a domino effect in the comic book industry that is, at least for the Vertigo like titles, that would be shocking. Um, I don't know. It's gonna vary by people's contracts. I know historically Alan Moore has had a lot of issues with Watchmen and other stuff he's done for
Yeah.
DC.
I don't think he owns Watchmen though.
I don't. He was so the thing was that as soon as Watchmen went out of print, he would get all rights to it, and Watchmen has just never gone out of print. So that's how they screwed him.
Yep.
So, um, yeah, we keep an eye on the story. I don't think the story is over by a long shot. And also, with Steamboat Willie and stuff going public domain here soon, I think the discussion of public domain is going to really heat up. I know that there are some senators that want to revert back to the old rules before Disney got their way. And if that happens, all kinds of stuff will go public domain, like Marvel stuff, Star Trek stuff, all kinds of crazy stuff. So um, we'll see.
The unfortunate thing, if all this happens, is we'll lose the art of the Chinese knockoff, and that'll
Yes.
be upsetting.
Yes, if you have ever been to a foreign country and see all the bootleg stuff, like
or a flea market, which is basically a foreign country.
yeah, or wish.com or whatever, you you would not believe some of the bootleg stuff. Like when I went to
I think,
Jamaica, all kinds of cartoon characters doing drugs on shirts and stuff, and it was amazing. So,
oh man,
um,
everyone's favorite action hero, Robert Cop. I think that one's really Robert Cop is one of my favorites.
yeah, if you haven't looked up the bootleg toys online, they are hilarious. And like
There's
the ones that have like the stories on the back, those are the ones
yeah.
that are really funny.
Another one that I like is the everyone's favorite crime fighting alliance, Sense of Right, which is and it's this toy pack that comes with Superman, Batman, the Yellow Power Ranger, Shrek, and Lightning McQueen.
Yes. Oh.
That's my DC Comics.
Have you ever bought anything bootleg that you knew was bootleg online?
Oh yeah. What? Not even online. I mean, like at the flea market. Absolutely.
I've got a pretty nice set of Ninja Turtle figures that are bootleg. That you could get. What's that website? Ollie, whatever it is. Yeah, you could get some pretty nice NECA Ninja Turtle knockoffs that are pretty cool.
I got a knockoff. One thing that I'm really proud of. Remember, like those Tiger Electronics games?
Yeah.
I got one that was a bootleg King of Fighters.
All right, like, let's move off from bootlegs before we get in trouble on YouTube here.
Yeah. So Lando is now a movie. Now here's the thing: if I had a nickel for every time that a Disney Plus show starring a famous African American actor playing a famous African American character was changed from a Disney Plus original series to a movie, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's still weird that it happened twice.
This is I highly doubt this is ever coming out.
Well, and at the same time, I also doubt that Armor Wars is ever coming out. So it's still the same situation.
Yeah, I don't even know if the Mandalorian movie's coming out at this point. I don't know. I am hearing rumors, chatter about Ahsoka getting a second season.
Ahsoka's doing really well right now. I'll go ahead and just say, like, we're halfway through the series. It's actually pretty good. So if anything happens, Dave Filoni helming it is a certainty.
I don't know. I mean, I know Disney released their numbers, but I don't know exactly what the ratings actually are. So it'll be interesting. I think a lot of things are just question marks right now because of the writer strike that never ends. And if leadership changes at Disney, and I don't know. But a lot of these things are on, the movie industry is like a train and it's already on the tracks. Even though if it's not going to come out for 3 years, there's stuff that's already on the tracks that it's really hard to get it off the tracks. So I don't know what. I was going to say, I don't know what stage of development Lando's actually at. I know that they've been kicking around ideas forever.
I know that the last thing we heard was Donald Glover is writing it. So it hasn't even been written yet.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And we heard that right before the writer's strike. So I don't think I don't think legally he is actually allowed to write anything right now.
Yeah. Yep.
I do have a
What a
question
mess.
because I
Yeah,
was
go
thinking
ahead.
about this. At what point do you think that public opinion will sway against the writers if the writer strike doesn't end?
I think public opinion's already turned on the writers because the quality of movies and TV shows we've got the last few years have been crap. So why should I support you in your strike?
Yeah. So
um,
I don't know. I was
yeah,
just wondering about that because
and and if they chose to strike and now they're getting like free healthcare and stuff from California, yeah, it's like
yeah.
what's going on here?
Well,
Uh,
and my thing is I don't think we've actually gotten to feel the ramifications of the writer's strike yet because it's been the summer.
yeah, we still have movies coming out. Nobody really cares about TV anyways. Most of the stuff people are watching is either old shows or YouTube and One Piece or whatever. I don't think people are going to care for a long time. I think if the summer slate or the summer slate, the theater slate dries up, then people will start caring. But so many movies have been delayed to next year. You're not going to really notice that much for a while. I I don't know. I think the writers and actors are kind of screwed right now.
Yeah.
Uh, at least for a while. I
Had,
mean, no one cares that the talk shows are gone. Late night shows, no one cares.
well, yeah, I mean like so Conan's off the air. And he's been off the air.
Yeah.
Uh Craig Ferguson's been off the air for like 10 years.
I love the Craig Ferguson show. It
Oh
was so
yeah.
amazing.
The reason I bring up Craig Ferguson is he came up in my recommendations the other day and I started watching them.
Oh yeah, I've got subscriptions to several Craig Ferguson channels on YouTube. I watch them all the time.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I guess what it is I don't think that the writers and actors have realized how much the landscape has changed
Hmm.
as far as entertainment because like and it's
If if
sad
a
to say,
if a Marvel movie never came out again, would anybody care?
I don't think so.
Not
I
right
mean, I
now. I mean,
yeah.
we have 28 movies or whatever it was to go back to and watch whatever we want. It tells a complete story. Why would I care?
Well, yeah, I mean, at this point, there's not the only things that they could do to make people care is to do something that they're afraid to do, which is original stuff.
Yeah.
Because if you're gonna just remake uh Avatar The Last Airbender, I don't care. I'll watch Avatar The Last Airbender.
I don't need another Lord of the Rings movie. I don't need another Harry Potter movie. I don't need any of that. Those stories are all done, and I could go watch those
Yeah.
anytime I want. There is nothing right now that the writers are offering. Maybe Dune. But that wasn't like a massive hit. I There's nothing right now that's like, oh, I can't wait to see the next one of those. Everything's just kind of completed right now,
Yeah.
and
I
it's
mean at this point the things that I'm excited for are Dune and Rebel Moon, and that's just because they're Star Wars adjacent. Um and I mean
I'll
video
take
games.
another Ghostbusters movie, but I haven't seen anything from that yet, so that's
Well, and but the thing is let's say we never get another Ghostbusters movie ever again.
I'm
Are you
happy with
okay?
the ending. I am
Yeah.
great with that ending that we got at the end of Afterlife. Perfect ending. I'm great. I don't need any more.
That's the thing.
uh,
I think the key is going to be original stuff, and they're not going to do it. That's
Now, I did watch Alita Battle Angel again last week, and I'll take a sequel of that. you know,
so you watched it last week. Are you going to take back what you said?
they're
You
good in
should.
different ways.
You should. You should take it back.
I still get there's parts of Aaliyah that frustrate me. The ending still frustrates the heck out of me. I would have
but
not
that's
ended that movie that way.
but that's
Uh,
not the fault of the movie. That's the fault of Plus, like you said, James Cameron got some pull.
Yeah. All right, we got to get going, or we're going to be here all night. So let's move on to the next topic.
So yes, speaking of big companies unifying the industry, Unity unifies the industry. I've never seen such a more obvious bad guy in any industry ever.
This is insanity. Basically, and I may be wrong on this, Unity is a game engine, and
Yes.
to use it, you had to pay like a subscription fee, I believe, to develop games.
I believe Unity was kind of like the new Flash. Like, remember how like Newgrounds, everyone made their games on like Flash and whatnot? I think Unity's kind of like it started off as the new Flash, and then like developers started using it a lot too.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's some type of fee they pay, but they know what it is going in to use it. So the announcement came down that they were going to change it January 1st to, depending on how many people download your game or whatever, you have to pay a fee. And they were going to make it retroactive, which is the insane part to me.
That's the thing that like it didn't register to me because it's such an out there idea, but I just didn't recognize the fact that like honestly I got to look up to see what games I've played that are on Unity, and then
Fall
I'm like,
Guys is a Unity game. Think about Fall Guys. How many
oh my
people play
god,
Fall Guys? And also how much money they would owe. Think about that. I was looking up just a quick list of games right before the show, and Fall Guys popped out. I was like, oh, that's insane.
I gotta I'm gonna see like if there's any that stick. Cuphead is Unity.
Yes, Cuphead, Cult of the Lamb. There's a
Pokemon Go.
Yeah, think of that, Pokemon Go. Now they probably have the money, but they were not expected to have to dish out millions of dollars.
Oh my god, Genshin Impact.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, and this doesn't apply to just pay for games. These are free games. Certain demos, not all demos, but certain demos. And to picture this, what if you've been developing a game for years and you're about to release it, and now you get hit with this? You haven't made a dime yet, and also you're going to owe Unity thousands of dollars. It's insane. The retro part, depending on how the licensing agreement's written, really sounds illegal to me.
Yes.
So I know there's going to be lawsuits over this. We haven't heard from Microsoft on this. I'm sure they are going to really come down hard on Unity.
Didn't they just release the Sea of Stars or whatever it is?
I'm not sure, but think about Game Pass. How many games are on Game Pass that are are Unity developed? And is the developer going to share costs? The distributor, Microsoft, or it's a mess. And on top of that, again, this is all alleged. We don't know anything. We're two schmoes online. There's a lot of questions about when people on the board were selling their shares and stock in the company, knowing that this was going to be coming out. So again, allegedly, we know nothing. Does that qualify as insider trading or something else? we don't again, we don't know. We are two schmoes on the internet that know nothing. We're just observing and pointing out that looks a little odd.
And you know what is fantastic is they could backtrack on this and it doesn't matter.
You've already screwed up. You have already turned the industry against you.
And that's the thing. The difference between turning the consumer versus turning the industry, consumers are dumb. Like, if you remember, the Xbox One should have failed because of the way DRM was a thing. If you guys remember.
Oh yeah, consumers are they have short-term memory. They have very short-term memory. Industry partners that you're going to be doing business with for years, they do not have short-term memory.
No. Um, I honestly doubt that anyone will be using Unity from this day forward.
Well, I mean, I think some people are kind of locked in to it,
I
or at
don't
least for
think
the.
anyone will
But
choose.
I think 5 to 10 years from now, I don't think Unity exists
Yeah,
anymore. Is kind of how a boneheaded decision this was.
yeah. I
Um,
mean, I
and I'm
think
hearing,
people will actually move to Unreal 5 after this.
and apparently
Like,
people in the company knew this was a bonehead decision, and the higher ups did not listen and went forward anyways. So, you just see companies do stupid stuff sometimes, and sometimes they're smart enough to walk it back. And I don't know. This is
you
this.
can't, I mean, even you can walk this back, it won't fix anything. People are done.
Well, yeah, it's like you did this once. What's to say you won't do it again 6 months from now?
I mean,
There is no trust anymore.
do you want to know how dumb consumers are? Do you remember the Netflix thing? And then they walked it back, and then they did it anyway.
Yeah,
Consumers are dumb.
yeah, yep.
All two of our viewers out there, you guys are dumb.
You're
And guess
dumb
what?
idiots.
We're dumb too because we are also consumers.
We say that. I think that people are getting more informed. I know myself. I myself am done with Disney, like 90%
Sure.
of it, and I'm paying attention more than I ever have. And I think that there are more and more people that are just sick of stuff. They're getting informed. So I don't think all the consumers are dumb, but I do think that I hate the term normies, but the normies have very short term memories that comes to this, or they're not even paying attention at all. That's the other
Yeah.
thing. Um,
Um,
so
I mean, in words of Cypher, ignorance is bliss.
this is another one to keep your eye on. The Fables
Yes.
thing I'd keep my eye on, and public domain stuff, and then keep your eye on this. This could have huge ramifications in the very near future, especially if they don't back down from this. It'll be chaos January 1st. You'll see a lot
Yes.
of games get delisted. I would download any game you've been thinking about playing before January 1st if this does not go away. Cult of
Yeah,
the
I mean,
Lamb
like,
has already said they will be just delisted January 1st if this doesn't change.
I'm definitely. I think the big game that's on Unity that has always been on my list, but I just never pulled the trigger was Cuphead. I've never played Cuphead. I might have to do that.
Now, Cuphead, they have backing from Microsoft, right?
Maybe.
So they may not go. I doubt they would go away. They have, and they've got what, like a Netflix cartoon or whatever. I mean, I think they're
Hmm.
too big to at this point, but who knows? I mean, if these fees are outrageous, I mean, a lot of people played Cuphead. I don't know. It's the video game industry is tough as is. I mean, you see big companies that they were hoping that the DLCs would turn a profit or the in-app purchases, and then they don't, and then they have to kill the whole production. Imagine what all of a sudden a surprise fee like this is going to do. All of a sudden, oh, by the way, you owe $50,000 to Unity. These things are already razor thin as is. I don't know.
I mean, it's insane because Asmongold said it in the best way. You know how like you get paid for every download, like you get kind of residuals. It's like the opposite, where
Think,
like
think of
you have to pay them.
think of it like this: you are Joe consumer. You have a budget. You're able to meet your bills every month, but you only have a little bit of money left over. Imagine all of a sudden the power grid or electric company said, "Oh, by the way, every time you plugged in something to it into our system, you owe us retroactively a dime for that." You would
And
be
if you unplug
destroyed.
it, and if you unplug it and then plug it back in, that's another dime.
Yes, you would if you all of a sudden had to pay thousands of dollars in fees that you didn't know about. It would destroy you.
Yeah,
And
it's
and as people have said, you could abuse the system. Say you hated Microsoft, you could really screw them over by downloading a game over and over and over and over,
yeah.
setting up virtual machines to download it. You could do all kinds of stuff to screw people over. And
And
Unity's, they've been like, oh no, 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 we could tell. How can you tell? Oh, we're not telling you,
yeah,
but we know.
and
It's ridiculous.
don't act like people won't do it.
Oh, we've seen
People
that.
will do it.
We You saw that what how Reddit what they did to the GameStop stock. If they are determined to alter something or manipulate something, they will do it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Especially if the internet unites against a company or something, it's insane what the internet will do.
And at that point, I definitely think it's too much power to the consumer. I don't think that I think the consumer should be able to take down a company, but the right way. That's not the right way.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Vote with your dollar and all that. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So that was a lot of news. We got a lot of games to talk about. Let's get going here.
All right. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with the state of play. Because I there's less to talk about with the state of play. The state of play was a little shorter, and not as much to talk about. But we do have Resident Evil: The Mercenaries getting Resident Evil 4 DLC. I'm actually not too uh, familiar with the Mercenaries. I remember Mercenaries 3D on the 3DS, and I remember it not being very good. um, so if this game is getting Resident Evil 4 DLC, I would assume that this version is better.
I,
um,
I have no clue. I was trying to look this up before the show and I couldn't find it. I know what you were talking about. So,
oh yeah,
uh,
I yeah. So I debated on whether or not it would be called, because I think it's just labeled as the Mercenaries. I don't think Resident Evil is anywhere on the actual game, even though this is a Resident Evil game. Uh,
yeah,
so
I,
it's hard to find information on.
yeah. And I think Capcom's having a little bit of trouble figuring out what to do with Resident Evil right now because Lady Demetrius or whatever her name was so popular and caught them off guard. Now they're like, oh, but we killed off that character. What do we do with this franchise now? And so, yeah, I don't think they know what to do with anything right now.
I think they know what to do with the core franchise. I just don't think they know what to do with spin-offs.
Yeah,
Like I think they're hard at work at Resident Evil 9, and they know what they want to do with 9, but as far as, like your Revelations, Mercenaries, Operation Raccoon City, I just don't think they know what to do with. But I mean, what else is new? Resident Evil spin-offs have always sucked.
yeah. What's next?
um So this one I have no idea about. I must have missed this. I don't know what you're talking about. You said something about a game called Baby Steps.
Uh, the only reason I brought this up, this looks like one of those weird internet games. And this
Made on
is made
Unity.
probably where you're trying to get up a mountain and your character does like little baby steps, and so it's like one of those weird internet games.
So is
And I
this
was like,
like only up?
well, maybe. I was thinking this is like getting over it, and then it said the creator Bennett Foddy. I was like, oh, this is like getting over it. So this will probably be one that you see a lot of streamers playing, and so I just thought I'd bring it up because I know how much people talked about getting over it.
And the only up meta for Twitch was huge,
Yeah.
which
So
I don't know. I got bored of it really quickly because unfortunately, with only up, once you see a speed run of it, you really don't care. Like, I love Ludwig's personality. I don't need to see him play only up. You know.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I could definitely see this being the streamer meta for a couple weeks whenever this comes out.
yep. This will be one of those things
Yeah,
that. Well, I'm hopeful that this will be one of those things that catches on, like getting over it did, and we'll
Fall
see.
Guys. Yeah.
Yeah, one of those things that's fun to watch for a little bit and nice distraction. So
Next one, I'm super excited about. We've got Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. Did you catch this trailer?
I just tried to watch it about 30 minutes ago or before the show, and I was really bored. Avatar does nothing for me. So,
I love Avatar so much. I love this universe. I love Avatar. This game looks beautiful. This game looks amazing. I need more Avatar. I love
but
Avatar so
I just think
much.
I'm to a point where all the graphics, all these games start to look the same. You know, you've hit a point where, oh wow, it looks so realistic, and you're like, okay,
Oh,
you
oh,
know,
I agree. I agree absolutely. I think we're at a point where graphics have plateaued. Um, I think it's the colors and the art style that do it for me. Because I mean, like just with this picture, like there's so much. I what I've always loved is I've always loved how colorful the environment of Pandora is, and how
hmm
colorful the native species are, and then the really gray, grim humans. I've just always loved that dichotomy. So this is one that I'm definitely keeping an eye out for. I think this looks great. I don't care that it's Ubisoft. I guess I kind of care that it's Ubisoft, but we'll see. So far, this looks great. Um, so for the next thing, we have the PS5 Deep Earth collection. The reason these stick out to me is because, first of all, these look fantastic. For the most part, I was kind of like, I'm done with console wars. Come January, I'm gonna, save up some money. I paid off, a lot of my early adulthood debt that I accumulated.
hmm
I'm gonna uh, go full on PC come January, and then there a couple trailers from the State of Play, and then seeing these, I'm like, am I really a PC person? Maybe I am a console person. Maybe consoles are for me. So let's say that I do cave and not go the PC route and end up getting a PS5. I'll probably want to get one of these because these things look really nice.
yeah,
um, I also, you know what these remind me of, because we don't do this anymore. Right now, you get your Xbox, and then, it's either white or black, or you get your Switch and it's got gray Joy Cons or what. This reminds me of the GameCube, where you have
hmm
like six different colors of the same console. We don't do this anymore, but I've always loved it.
yeah, yeah. Those look
Uh,
pretty good. I'm not interested in another console at the moment, but yeah, those do look tempting.
Here's the thing: I feel you completely. And then they ended the State of Play with something that probably broke me. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Uh, Spider-Man 2 looking better and better. Did you catch the I know that you weren't watching the State of Play live, but did you go back and watch the Spider-Man 2 stuff?
I wasn't sure what to watch because they released like 3 or 4 different videos. So I watched one about costumes, and I was bored. So I don't know which trailer I was supposed to watch. So
So I would have watched all four of them because it was a pretty long presentation, so they probably split up the presentation into four different videos.
uh huh.
The big thing that they were talking about was, they are doubling the size of New York, because in the first Spider-Man game it was all Manhattan. Now we're going to Brooklyn and we're going to Queens, so they are doubling the size of the map, which I think is amazing.
hmm
Um, and you are going to be able to switch uh, on the fly between Miles and Peter,
Cool.
which is super dope. And like you have like your you remember back in Spider-Man 2 on the GameCube, where like you're swinging around and you can stop certain crimes from happening.
Yeah.
So there are some missions that actually vary depending on which Spider-Man you are. So like you can go and you can talk to like a group of kids as Peter, and they won't even give you the time of day, but you go and you talk to them as Miles. They're like, "Hey, Spider-Man, can you go?" Because you're a younger Spider-Man, they can relate to you more, and so they want you to uh, to to do stuff. Or Peter works more with the police because he's kind of the more veteran Spider-Man.
Hmm.
I think that's so cool that like depending on which Spider-Man you are, really depends on who wants your help, which I think
Yeah,
is super cool.
I always thought that they should take a game engine like this and remove all the story mode stuff. Just how we could go online and do missions and then add about 30 more playable characters and add like 30 villains that could auto spawn or whatever all over the city, and just have like an online experience where oh, there's Daredevil, one guy's playing as Daredevil, one guy's playing as Spider-Man, and you team up to fight Dr. Rock or whatever. I think there's something there, like some
So
type of online
so
simulator type game.
you're thinking something kind of like a mix between an MMO and a battle royale.
Yeah.
Okay, I could
Or at
dig
the
that.
very least some type of simulator where you control, like almost like a Sim City type thing, where you click, oh, I want random villain encounters, or and you can make these villains appear but not these, or whatever, and then you can just web around the city and do whatever. you know I think there's a lot of potential there.
Also, if you ever feel useless in your life, whether or not you feel like you're actually contributing to society in a meaningful way, just know that they've added a fast travel in this game and they're really excited about it. Because who wants a fast travel in a Spider-Man game? I want to swing.
Yeah.
Fast travel to me in a Spider-Man game is whenever I get really good at the swinging physics.
Right.
Oh, and web wings. They went really deep into web wings, and those look really cool. Um, I'm I'm glad that web wings are becoming a more obvious thing to Spider-Man now. I don't think that Spider-Man's always had web wings, but he never used them.
Yeah, like I know, like Spider-Man 2099 used them more. um so anyhow.
Yeah. And then finally, my favorite. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I am so excited for this. It's coming out in February. Oh my god. I'm so excited. This game looks great. If you follow Easy Allies and Maximilian Dude, you know what I'm excited about as far as the levels and who Sephiroth is, what his intentions are, whether or not certain characters are going to live or die, why, who is this guy that with black hair that looks like Cloud? Oh man, I'm so excited for the game because I'm just like I don't know why I'm watching the state. I'm like I know why I'm to play because I feel like something Final Fantasy VII is gonna come out.
Hmm.
I didn't eat an onion, so I'm Onion Bubs as my little nickname.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I messaged him and I said, if we get a release date, I'll eat an onion on stream.
Yeah.
That's not. I'm not going to eat an onion. But
Like that little kid, the parents like, don't eat the onion. Like, I'm gonna eat the onion. And then, is it good? Yeah. So you're like crying and stuff.
oh yeah, no, that I bet you that was just me. That kid was Caleb. Was Caleb. Uh, anyway, anyway. So uh, this was the game that because I'm just like I don't need a console. I can go full on PC and it'll be fine. And then I see this game and I'm like, I don't know if I'm a PC gamer. Console might be the way for me. And You know what's funny is I'm sure this game will hit PC eventually, but at the same time, I don't care. I'd want to play it on a PS5.
Yeah,
So if I buy a PS5, it will be for this game.
understood.
So so anyway, that was the state of play. As far as a rating, it was pretty it was pretty mid in my opinion, but Spider-Man 2 and Final Fantasy 7 really saved it at the end. Of course, I love Frontiers of Pandora, but I know I'm the only person interested in that.
Yeah, I think they
Uh,
also showed Ghostbusters VR or something. Yeah.
yeah, I might have missed that one. So I think I missed like the first 10 minutes because I had just gotten
Hmm.
off work. But yeah, pretty all right. I think the game of the day, just in general, for me, between the state of play and the Nintendo Direct, it is Final Fantasy VII for me. Um, but the Nintendo Direct just had a whole lot more. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to that.
It was, and I would say for the Nintendo Direct, it was a lot of Mario and a lot of RPGs.
Yeah, yeah,
Like the majority. I mean, not everything, but like 80% was Mario and RPGs and Mario RPGs. So,
yeah. So what I think is fun is last week I was just complaining about how they should have made um, the GI Joe game a Contra game, and then they announced a new Contra game. So
and it looks pretty
uh,
good.
yeah, yeah. I mean, here's the thing: it is really hard to mess up Contra. It is so. It is such a
And yet
simple
they
concept.
have.
Then yet they have. Um, but I mean, it is such a simple concept. Uh, it is bullet hell game. One hit, you're dead. Get the spread gun. Fight aliens. It's really hard to mess up. Somehow they've done it. This game looks really good though.
Yeah, and I think Way Forward is working on it. So, yeah, this should be
Oh yeah,
a lot of fun and 4-player mode and all that. Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Next up, they and we're not going to do these in the order that they announced them in. We did these in an order that kind of made sense. So up next, well, they did the Riot Forge presentation. If I'm being completely honest, I'm surprised you've never gotten into any Riot Forge games. Like, I understand not getting into League of Legends and whatnot,
hmm
but like you at this point, I think you're a bigger Arcane fan than I am. You're the one that got me to watch Arcane. I am so surprised that you haven't gotten at least into any of these Riot Forge games.
yeah, I think it's one of those things I just haven't looked into enough. I'm sure if I looked into it more, I'd be like, oh, I want to play that or play this. And I haven't.
I think you would like Convergence, which is Echo's game. I feel like this one right here, Song of Nunu. I think this one is going to be one up your alley. It looks a lot like a Banjo Kazooie type game. If
It
you've
looks like,
seen
yeah, it looks like
gameplay of
something
it,
my oldest son would play. Yeah.
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 But yeah, this one looks really fun. Um, and then so we knew about Song of Nunu for a long time. This one they announced that day, which is Bandletale, which is a farming simulator for all
Yeah.
you Stardew Valley girls out there. You can now get in on the Riot Forge phenomenon with Bandletale.
I think this is really smart, though, to just keep cranking out different League of Legend games in different genres and just build an audience.
Yes.
It'd be like taking like Mortal Kombat and just building a world of, oh, and now here's Katana or Kung Lao's farming simulation with Raiden and Kung Lao farming as they do in Mortal Kombat 1. You know, um, yeah,
uh,
I, I just think it's smart.
I firmly believe that what Riot is doing is what Sega and Nintendo did in the 90s.
Yeah, yeah,
For me, I think Riot Okay. I have to be careful about how I say this, because I know that shady business practices are a thing, and I know that the way they treat their employees are a thing. But just on the surface level, I think Riot's one of the best video game publishers out right now. Just because they're keeping it consistent, they're changing it up, they're being original, and I dig that.
Yep.
So this one, I must have missed this one because I didn't see this trailer, and I didn't think about it until you mentioned it. We've got Unicorn Overlord.
And they also had this on the PlayStation channel. I noticed earlier today, so this is coming to PlayStation also. There was this one, and there was another one they showed later, a Chuden Chronicles or something. They both gave me a Shining Force vibe. I don't know how much Shining Force it is, but I think the other one, a Chuden Chronicles, felt more like Shining Force because it talked about hundreds of heroes and building a base, and you start building a city and stuff, but also going out on missions and stuff. I thought so. Anything that gives me that Shining Force vibe, I'm going to maybe gravitate towards. And I know you're like, well, just play Fire Emblem. Well,
Yes,
Shining Force has like a takes itself less serious as more fun, I think, than Fire Emblem, and it just has a different vibe to it. I can't explain. Um, but like that A Chuden one Chronicles, it had like a shark people and stuff. Just something you probably wouldn't see in a Fire Emblem game. So
but Crom eats unpeeled oranges unironically.
I'm sure one day I will. I've been just playing weird stuff lately. Like also, I got back into Smash Brothers this week out of nowhere, which I haven't played in a couple of years. And mostly because I haven't played a lot of the DLC characters, so and I realized they had added a bunch of spirits I didn't have, so I was just kind of collecting spirits and stuff. Um, I like playing as Kayuba. Is that his name? He's from one of those fighting games I can't think of.
Kazuya from Tekken.
Kazuha, yes, that's his name.
Yeah,
He's got some pretty cool moves.
Kazuya's dope. Fun fact: one of the best Kazuya players in the world is actually from here in Kentucky. Shout outs to Wilds.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm good at the game. I just like playing as him.
No,
I'm
yeah,
sure.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Oh no. I am not good at all. I love playing Byleth. So that's
Yeah.
Byleth and Joker. I don't even like Persona. I just like the character of Joker. It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
But this is one to
but
keep on your
yeah.
radar. Like I said, I don't know if it's exactly like Fire Emblem or Shining Force, but I was just kind of like, I could maybe see that. And I think both these come out like in the spring. So
So are they both by Sega?
no, neither of them by Sega. This one is by I
Well,
think
this
this
one's
one's
by
by Atlas.
well, Atlas is owned by Sega.
Oh, okay, then never mind. Ignore me. I don't keep track of all this stuff.
Okay,
Uh,
gotcha.
yeah.
And
And
then
I,
down there in the bottom it says Atlas Sega, all rights reserved.
I can't read. You know this.
I gotcha.
Um,
You just like the pictures of comic books.
yeah. I've been looking at pictures for years. I'm
I
trying to
don't know
see
how to
who's.
read. I've just memorized a lot of words.
Yeah. I'm trying to see who's making the other game. Doesn't say. Anyhow, 505 Games is making the other one.
Okay,
So,
gotcha.
um, but I thought that
Next
one.
one.
Okay, we'll move on. Let's go.
Oh yeah. No. I mean, I didn't catch this game, and this game looks like a lot of fun. I love tactical RPGs. Fire Emblem is one of my favorite series of all time. So,
Uh-huh.
uh, anytime I see a tactical RPG, of course it will draw comparisons to Fire Emblem for me. But that's not always a bad thing because I love Fire Emblem.
Yeah, and this is. I'll just pull it up really quick. The other one I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'm gonna hijack the stream, but this is the other one. The one called 100 Heroes comes out April 23rd that I thought would look pretty interesting. Um,
Okay. So
he-
they when did the first one come out?
I didn't even know there was a first one until I just saw it right now. It says out now.
See,
Um,
now you got me wondering, because I'm like, are these like episodic adventures or
I don't know. That's this one would both need to look more into, but that one, the shark people in the trailer caught my attention, and they're talking about hundreds of heroes that under your command. And I'm sort of thinking, is this Shining Force, or they're talking about having a home base and stuff, and
Okay,
so
so Rising came out May of 2022.
okay, so yeah, I think it's one that both of us need to just look more into. We don't know enough about it, but it did catch my eye. So cool. Moving on.
Moving on to the star of the show, we have trombone champs. Uh, if you want to learn how to play trombone, this is your chance.
And this game has been out for a while on I think Steam or whatever. So there's a lot of videos of people trying to play it, and it's just one of those funny, wacky games. Uh,
I was over at a friend's house yesterday because we all got together to do the Mewtwo raid for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and my friend's brother, his older brother, came over to play the raid too, and I mentioned this. He did not believe me. He's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." I was like, "Yeah, trombone champ, the the
the follow up
the
to
Trump,
Guitar Hero, yeah, trombone
yeah."
champ.
He's like, I don't believe you. Yeah, so we had to pull up a video of it. This game looks weird. Speaking of games that look weird, WarioWare Move It continues to look weird.
I
Uh,
have a bad shoulder, so I will not probably not be playing this, but I really want to. I love the WarioWare games. Um,
I wasn't there like a mini game where like you're putting the Joy-Con up to your butt while you're bending over. That
yes,
looked like one of them.
he was laying an egg. Yeah, a chicken laid an egg, what made it funny was the face the guy was making in the ad.
You know
Yeah,
what?
they just
Like,
rolled a straining face. I was like, "What is happening?"
if any game were to get me to shove a Joy-Con up my butt, it would be WarioWare.
Well,
That's
that's the
just
quote
stupid. That
needs to
makes
be on
sense.
the box right there. The Caleb, 2023
The
video
only
game. Look at
game
you,
to ever get me, the only game to ever get me to shove a Joy-Con up my butt.
WarioWare.
Yeah, this looks fun. There are so many WarioWare. I don't think I've consistently played a WarioWare game since Touched, but I have all the other WarioWare games. I just haven't consistently played them as much.
Yeah, it's a great
Um,
franchise.
oh yeah. How do you feel? Is Wario weird for his love interest being Mona Pizza?
Is that actually a love interest, or is there actually a relationship between the two?
No, she's just like she's obsessed with him and like has had a huge
Oh,
crush on
she
him.
has a crush on him. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, whatever floats your boat.
yeah. It's weird whenever you start to think about the fact that in the first WarioWare game, she was like 16 and now she's like 18 or 19.
Oh, they had to
Wario's
age her
fine though.
up. Yeah.
What?
I mean,
Yeah.
they had to age her up. Yeah. I mean, Wario's like what, 14? Yeah, it's fine.
um, so next up we have Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. Now I'm very confused about something. Is Luigi's Mansion Dark Eclipse not Luigi's Mansion 2?
Yeah, it's Dark of the Moon or whatever. That's what this is. Yeah, it's the same game.
So did they just rename it?
I think so. just because I don't think enough people knew about Dark of the Moon. So I was like, oh, it's just part two, and so that would make people. I think if you call it Dark of the Moon, then people be like, oh wait, this was a 3DS game or whatever. I think calling it Luigi's Mansion 2, then it's like, oh, is this a new game? I don't know, and it's just kind of
I mean,
to
I
get.
was so confused because I'm like, was there a Luigi's Mansion? I know there was a Luigi's Mansion and a Luigi's Mansion 3. I thought 2 was the Dark Moon one.
Yeah, that's what this is. It's
Okay. I
I
was
don't know
so
why they
confused. I'm like, are you allowed
but
to do that? Are we
I
going to
mean, I
start
guess
relabel? Are we going to start relabeling all of the Rambo movies? This is First Blood Part 3, Rambo 2.
yeah, yeah, sure. Um, yeah, I don't know this. I don't think this would be as big a controversy as the Pikmin logo change or whatever that people freaked out over.
Oh, for all
Um,
of you Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon
purist.
fans, I
Yeah.
look forward to your letters.
Yes.
Um, no, honestly, I think there's probably about 2 people that will care because I think by the time this game came out, about 2 people had 3DSs.
And I think by the time this comes out, I think it comes out like July of next year. I think by then people will be already looking forward to the next Nintendo system, and they're not going to care about this game at all.
Dude, I think people already are. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Even last week, I wasn't on board with a new console. After seeing this direct, I'm like, oh, they're running out of stuff.
Yeah, this was the director. I was like, oh, we're just going to release everything else now because we just got to fill a calendar until the new thing comes out.
Yeah. Spoiler alert for our final opinions on this Nintendo Direct.
Well, there's something going on because they're re-releasing all the Nintendo amiibos and they're changing the labeling on all of them. They're removing the mention of Switch and 3DS from the back of them.
Yeah.
So there's something going on, and hey, I'm all for re-releasing the amiibos. I have all the Smash Brothers ones except for Pyra and Mithra. I missed out on them. So if they re-release them, hey, I'm good.
Now, this one makes me hungry. Splatoon 3 Side Order, which is the second expansion pass, which is coming out. I love the way Splatoon just names their expansions. It's always a lot of fun. Um, this looks pretty good. One unfortunate thing about the Splatoon series is the base game is all about the multiplayer, and it's not until the expansion pass, whenever they get like good single player content. Um, like Cameron has always told me that I should play the Splatoon 2 Octo expansion because I'm obsessed with like the physics puzzles of Breath of the Wild, and he's like, if you
Mhm.
like that, just play Octo expansion. That's the whole game. So I have faith that this will be really good because Splatoon I've always thought was kind of a mid series until they release their expansions, and their expansions are really what the games are about, which is
Mhm.
unfortunate. I just kind of wish they would release the expansions as games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, Splatoon is probably the most EA that Nintendo ever gets. um, but yeah, so at that point, I think that is the last of. Okay, so there's like one more, but let's go ahead and get into the meat of the direct, which is all of the Mario stuff.
So much
Uh,
Mario.
so much Mario. So we've got Super Mario RPG. You know what I just thought
Uh,
about?
what?
Original Mario voice actor is not going to be Mario in this game.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how much dialogue was in this game. It's been a while since I played this. Um, I did like that they were adding the triple attacks and stuff to this. That looked pretty cool. Um, yeah, this is a pretty meaty game to start with. If you've never played this one, it's a lot of fun. A lot of secrets in it and stuff. Um, have you ever played this one?
No, no. So I do plan on getting the remake. That will be my first time playing through this.
Okay. I will give you a heads up. There are like secret treasure chests to collect in the game, and there's one mean one right at the very beginning of the game that you have a one chance to get. You have to bounce off a toad's head, hit this invisible block. So if you don't know about it, you will miss out on that secret block.
Does
Um,
it give like a gameplay buff or something?
I don't remember what the secrets give you now. I just remember that there's I remember that being a big secret, and then the casino being a big secret.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. You and I are very different whenever it comes to collectibles.
mhm.
Because whenever I'm into collectibles, I'm like, okay, so how much easier does this make the game? What what special abilities does it give me? You stop playing Metroid Prime halfway through because you missed a scan.
Yeah, I'm more into the lore and stuff. It's like you start. I don't know.
I've always found that funny that you stopped
He
playing
got
half.
the stupid cloaked enemy that had the defective cloak got stuck in the doorway, and I couldn't scan him. I had to shoot him with the door to open. So frustrating. Anyhow, I'm still mad about that 20 years later or whatever. Yeah.
So we've also got a Mario versus Donkey Kong remake. This one was actually a surprise to me.
I think
Uh,
I own this game. I think I have this.
I have never played this game. I've always found it interesting though, because I'm like,
It's it's sort of a sequel to Donkey Kong 94. Kind of the same play mechanics, although I think Donkey Kong 94 is a better game. Um, but yeah, it's pretty fun if I recall. It's been a long time since I played this, and I think it was called um, something about the minis. It had a different title also. This is another one they've renamed. It was like Mario and Donkey
I
Kong, something of the minis or March of the Minis or something.
I think that was like the sequel to it, March of the Minis.
Was
Um,
it?
yeah. Okay. So there's Mario versus Donkey Kong. Then there was Mario versus Donkey Kong 2, March of the Minis, and then Mario versus Donkey Kong Miniland Mayhem. So
Oh,
this is a franchise.
yeah.
Um,
I've definitely played one of these. I just can't remember which one. Um, yeah, they're
the
fun. It's a lot
original
of
was the Game Boy Advance.
it's a lot of puzzle solving, is what it is. Platform puzzle solving. So
It's
they're
kind of
fun.
like um, Captain Toad.
Yeah, yeah. Captain
I
Toad with
enjoy.
jumping.
I enjoy Captain Toad a lot. And guess what? We're never gonna get another one. I know that we're never getting another Captain Toad. Um,
I wouldn't say that. I bet we do one
I'm yeah,
day.
we're gonna get a remake of it in 15 years.
I could see them. I don't know if it'd be a full game, but I could see like the next Mario game. Oh, then there's bonus Captain Toad levels, or something.
Yeah.
It
Next up, Princess Peach Showtime. This game looks fantastic.
looks fantastic, but yet I'm also confused by it.
Oh yeah, here's the thing. So am I, but like I'm not gonna question it.
Like I don't know if it's like mini games, like the levels and stuff. Like I was okay with it until I saw the cooking part, and I was like, oh wait, is this Mario Party? What is happening?
Oh yeah, I have
Um,
no idea what's happening, but it looks great.
but yeah, at least they're doing something with Princess Peach. I know in the past they tried. I know she had that Game Boy game. I can't remember what it was called now,
There's a DS
but it was
game, Super Princess Peach.
yes.
I loved
Um,
Super Princess Peach. That was a good game.
Especially with her popularity following the Super Mario Brothers movie, I think this is really smart.
You
Um,
know, I think the most inspired thing about the Super Mario Brothers movie was not making her a damsel.
yeah, yeah. I know some people were like, "Oh no, they're gonna make her a girl boss or whatever," but no, it was fine.
I'm like, yeah, yeah, make her a girl boss. Get it. And you know what? I think that that they balanced it out with the comedic timing of her immediately being attracted to Mario. I thought that was funny.
Um, yeah, I thought that this trailer at first, I'm like, okay, whatever. And then once she pulled out the sword, I was like, okay, you got my attention. What's happening?
Yeah, it's like okay, good game. Sword, sword. Okay, so now we're
What?
baking. Now we're
Now kung
baking.
fu.
Oh man, I'm so excited for this game. It looks so good. Uh, next up, was a big surprise, um, which is the Booster Wave 6, the final wave of Mario Kart 8.
Yeah,
Now, we don't know a whole lot about the tracks yet, um, but we expected one new character, right? Because there was one
I was
slot left.
hearing, I was hearing two characters, but yeah, we were not expecting four. Nobody was expecting four.
Yeah.
And the question was who was going to get cut. Was it going to be Diddy or Pauline or Funky? There was a big debate about who was not going to make it into the game.
And then they all make it, and then they throw in Peachette too.
Yeah, like who? What?
Oh man, here come the Bowsette modders. It's gonna happen.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
are gonna mod Bowsette in this game.
I need to get Mario Kart 8 for Switch. I do not have it. Although I have access to all these tracks. I just don't have the game.
um, I definitely need to because I have 100%ed the original Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on Switch, with like all the trophies and the. I've done everything that is possible to be done on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I just don't
And
have the Booster Course Pass.
yeah, I own this on, what was it on, Wii U? I have the Wii
Wii
U
U.
version. Yeah. It's
The
definitely a fun game.
Wii U version is basically a different game,
Okay.
uh, because they change a lot as far as like the way the physics work.
Hmm.
And in the Wii U version, it was one item at a time. Now you can hold two items at a time,
Nice. So
and
kind of like
there
Double
are
Dash a little bit. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, Mario Kart 8 is just I think it's one of the best games ever made.
Have you
I
seen Doug do his challenge on I think it was Mario Kart 8 he's doing the challenge on,
yeah, I've seen that.
where he's playing 10 games at once trying to get first place. It keeps randomly switching between games. That looks really
Oh yeah,
fun.
I love that. I saw who did I see do that? I saw Point Crow do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Point Crow, Small Ant, Doug, they're all kind of in that vein.
Yeah. I just started watching
uh,
Doug the last 6 months or so. I really enjoy it. So
oh yeah, he's great.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm super excited about this. You know how like some people are like, um, the most recent Smash Brothers game is automatically better than the last one. You know, even though we all know that Melee is still the best one. Um,
Hmm.
I think Mario Kart is actually like that, where the the next Kart game is always better than the last. As far as the console ones, you know, once you get into like,
Do you think Mario Kart 9 could be a launch title for Switch 2? I'm thinking if they don't have Smash ready, or if there is not going to be a new Smash, I think Mario Kart. You have to have some big title that people are just like gaga over.
that is an interesting. I almost want to make that like I almost want to make that its own show where we pitch like
Yeah,
the
our launch titles.
11
Okay, so maybe next month when we get to our video game show, we'll do that.
yeah,
If we're not talking
11
about
launch
Mortal
titles.
Kombat, yeah.
Yeah, 11 launch titles for Switch 2 or something like that. Like cuz I think that like I think we can all agree that like the GameCube's launch titles, that is a mishmash of what is going on. And it's very, very interesting. Just to short term answer your question, I wouldn't put it outside the realm of possibility. I
Yeah,
think we're like
but part of my brain also thinks Mario Kart's typically a year 2 or year 3 game, so I don't know.
the thing is the issue The issue with Nintendo is they have always struggled with launch titles.
Yeah. The other
Um,
thing of Mario Kart is it's a huge seller. You don't know how big the Mario Kart franchise is until you really look at it. You're like, holy cow, this is
oh yeah,
humongously popular. So
I think of the two, Mario Kart 9 is more likely a launch title than a new Smash. I'll say that.
yeah, I just don't think we're getting another Smash. I feel like if anything, I think we get a Smash re-release at launch with a few new characters, like a Wave 3. But I don't think they're going to do another Smash game immediately. I don't know. I
How
could be
how
completely wrong.
how difficult do you think it would be to re-release Smash Ultimate?
I think. Well, I don't know. I don't know what their deals are with all these companies. I don't know.
Like
I have no idea.
I'm almost thinking that like the most obvious thing to like re-release would be Melee, because that's the one that they hold the most control over.
We'll put a pin in this and come back to Smash Bros when we do our 11 launch title idea, because
Yeah.
I don't see them doing a new Smash Bros game. I just see them re-releasing Ultimate forever from now on. I
And
just
I'm totally down for that. There's really
Yeah.
nothing else that you need to do. But yeah, speaking of Smash Brothers, we can go ahead and move on to amiibo updates.
Uh-huh.
We are getting Sora. Sora is the final Smash Brothers character, which I assume you'll be getting this one as well.
Yeah, and I usually don't try to pre-order reserve them. I think I might do this one because I think he might be hard to get.
Oh,
I'm
you
just
definitely
getting the
should.
feeling. Yeah.
I think
With
Sora is the most requested character ever. Well, no, okay. So
I
Sonic,
think
then Mega
Banjo
Man, then Sora.
Kazooie
I
and
think
Banjo
Sora was.
Kazooie.
I think Sora was more requested than Banjo Kazooie.
Yeah. Well, no, you know who's the most requested was Goku.
Oh,
Goku was by far the most requested.
I here's what I got to know. I'm like, how many of these people are serious, and how many of these people are in on the joke? Because I people who are in on the joke, I at least respect you. If you seriously wanted Goku in Smash Brothers, we got to get something checked out. Okay, we need to get
Well,
you.
I think that those are people waiting for Batman to show up in the next Avengers movie. I think those are those types of people, and
So it's
they
like a
do
bunch.
exist. They do exist.
So you're thinking that a bunch of grandmas were like Mama Maddox was waiting for Goku in Smash Brothers.
Yes, she kept filling out the ballots. She's like, "How do I
she,
submit this? You gotta help me submit this. Let's go."
she can barely fill out her lunch schedule for the month.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
So,
bless them,
so
bless them, bless them. All right.
you said amiibo updates. What else was there? I know that there was
It was
Ganondorf and Zelda.
Zelda. Then I don't remember what the game was now. It was two characters I did not care about, whatever it was. It was one of their Nintendo's RPGs. I don't even remember
You
who it
see, now
was.
I gotta know because, like,
Like
I mean, like,
Xeno Chronicle or something. It was something.
oh, it was probably a Xenoblade 3 amiibo.
Yeah, it was two of them.
Uh, Noah and Mio.
Yeah.
Okay, I have never played, and here's the thing: it's not that I don't like it. I mean, I have always wanted to play a Xenoblade Chronicles game. It just have never gotten around to it, and at this point, it's so daunting.
It's RPGs are such a time suck. Like we have Fire Emblem Three Houses or whatever, and then I think I bought Triangle Strategy for my youngest for Christmas. I don't think he's even touched it yet because it's just a time suck. It's such a time commitment. Um, but yeah, it's sitting there.
Yeah, one day I'll get around to it. So this
Yeah.
next one, I am royally pissed about.
Oh.
F-Zero 99. I had this pitch 3 years ago. I pitched an F-Zero Battle Royale like 3 years ago, and now I'm not going to get my dues.
Hey, at least you get to play it.
Yeah, game looks fun. I actually
They
haven't. So I actually don't have the Nintendo Online right now, so I actually haven't gotten to play it. Have you gotten to play it yet?
I tried to play it day one. It took like 6 hours to download, and by then I'd forgotten and was playing Smash Brothers. So I will eventually play it.
Real? It took
I
it
don't
took
know
me
what was
like
wrong
it
with
took
the
me like
download. Is
10 minutes to download this.
I don't know what was wrong with my online. It was I tried it like later at night, like at 8 o'clock, and it just was like, nope, you are not playing this. So I'm like, all right.
Okay. Um, I will say I actually did boot up the old Super Nintendo online and played some F Zero on the Super Nintendo. I think I'm ready to go.
I don't think I've ever really played an F Zero game, so I'm
Really?
sure I'll get destroyed in this. I'm sure I've played F Zero on Super Nintendo a few times and been like, okay, this is not for me. And
I will say that this game is not going to be F-Zero 99. It is going to be Samurai Goro 99.
mhm.
Because Samurai Goro and the Firestar, um, which is the pink car, has always been far and above every other car in F-Zero. um, Tell me, you say you've never played an F-Zero game. I, for some reason, remember you having like an F-Zero, like a trunk full of F-Zero GX strategy guides.
I bought those for a penny a piece.
Like you gave one to me. I have
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Toys R Us discounted like they cleared so much of their strategy guides for a penny a piece. So I bought a bunch of those, a bunch of Pokemon ones. Yeah, I forgot I had all those. I don't have them now, but I had
I
them for a
just
long time.
and it's one of those things where I was just so young that I'm like, did he have a trunk full like he was like he was like
I was a traveling strategy guy salesman.
yeah, like
I
you were
had
just out of the back of your car.
hey, I'd pull up in a Walmart parking lot, just pop
Oh
open.
my gosh.
No, I was trying to do like a get rich quick, like, oh, I could sell these to half price books and blah blah. So I took the whole stack in there. I said, how much you give for these? I go, I have $1 for the whole stack. I was like, oh, okay.
Maybe that's making some money. I don't know. You know what you should have done? You should have waited. Because I bet you
Yeah,
now.
I bet now they're worth money.
Yeah.
I don't even know what happened to them. So
Yeah.
they got lost in one of the moves along the
Yeah.
way.
I'm just
Or
glad that
I'm
I'm
sure
not
I'll go out to
crazy.
the shed and open a box and go, oh my gosh, where'd all these come from?
I am just glad that I'm not crazy because I mean like I had that image in my head and I'm like, did that actually happen?
No, you're not crazy. Um, one of my get rich quick schemes that failed.
But yeah, no, F-Zero 99, it looks like a lot of fun. So I want to play it eventually.
Yeah. So, do you think a Mario Kart 99 could work?
Uh,
I mean, it'd be just like constant blue shells flying everywhere.
so starting with this, I don't think there would be blue shells. I think it would be Super Mario Kart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I actually don't think it would be a racing game. I think it would be a battle royale battle mode.
Okay. Yeah.
3 balloons.
I think you could do a really cool Star Fox 99, but that's just
Oh
me.
yeah, that'd be so cool.
Just like this huge dog fight. Just so
That would be so
um
cool.
yeah, but this was for me, I think this was probably the game of show for me.
And
I
you
thought this
knew
was pretty,
about it going in.
and I knew about going in, so that tells you, the direct announcements. I was like, yeah, okay.
And
Um,
then their final, it's not the announcement that we're going to talk about last, but it was their final announcement of the day, um, which was a re-release of Thousand Year Door.
Not a re-release, a remake. This is a remake of it.
Is it a
Uh,
remake?
that's what I heard. I don't know much about Paper Mario. This is one of those franchises I have not played.
I
But
mean,
I know
if it's
people
a
lost their people lost their minds when they saw this. I do know that.
Yeah. I remember people initially lost their minds, and then they heard that it's going to be at 30 frames a second, and they got scared. That's what I've heard.
Oh, but I
Uh,
mean, it is from what I understand. Again, I do not know anything about this franchise. That it is a remake.
I mean, if it's a remake, it doesn't look much better than the original.
Well, it's Paper Mario,
I know, I know.
but from what I understand, this is like the best Paper Mario game. So
Yeah, yeah,
people are
that's what
super
I
excited.
I have heard that the Paper Mario fans are gathering together to buy this to ensure that they never get color splash ever again. Uh, I
And
don't know
if
what that
you,
means, but
well, and infamously, from what I hear, Shigeru Miyamoto is the one who's kind of screwed up this franchise. But that is a podcast
you
for another
know,
day.
I I mean, I don't think it is another pot. I think we talk about it enough. Like, I mean, Tears of the Kingdom is as good as it is because Shigeru Miyamoto is not involved in
Yep, 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 yep,
it.
yep. Um,
We need Shigeru Miyamoto to be more involved in more movies, so that way he can leave the games alone.
if you like watching funny reactions to these announcements, usually I like watching Rogers Space announcements or reactions. Arlo's reaction to this is hilarious. He's like having a stroke. He can't even talk. It's very funny. So
So this last one, this will be the last thing we talk about. The Nintendo Museum in Kyoto, Japan. Um, this I am super excited about. So Cameron and I, we've actually been talking about a trip to Japan for 2025. We've been talking about that for a while.
mhm.
So this has become a really good incentive for that. um,
Well, you
but
know where you could go is a lot cheaper. You should come down here to Frisco, Texas, to the video game museum, and you can stay at my house.
but
You know.
Texas is so hot.
Oh, wow.
Maybe if you guys have another snowstorm, I'll make it down there.
All right. But Video Game
Uh,
Museum, if you haven't been, anybody listening, in Frisco, the National Video Game Museum, pretty cool. I mean, it's
no,
not
I didn't.
huge, but
I didn't know
it
about
is.
that.
Uh, you like they go through like the decades, like as you walk through. Like it starts out with like this giant wall-sized Pong machine and stuff. And it goes through all the different consoles and the video game crash of the '80s and stuff. And then at the end, they have this whole arcade that you can. They give you so many tokens to go in there and play and stuff. So it's really cool.
So, I mean, they don't have any like shrines to Billy Mitchell, right?
No, but they've got some pretty cool stuff. They have like the development documents for like Toe Jam and Earl and stuff in there on display and
Okay.
stuff. And they had like the last time I went, it's been pre-pandemic, was they had the outfits from the old Mario Brothers movie. They had those on display and stuff.
With the boots and
Um,
everything.
yeah, yeah, it
Oh
was cool.
god. I love those boots.
Yeah, so I don't know what their current exhibits are, but it's definitely a cool place.
So this I'm super excited about. So story time. When we lived up in New Jersey, there was this place in Rockefeller Center, New York City, that was me and Cameron's favorite place. Uh, did you guys visit us up in New Jersey at any point?
I don't think I did, but I think the rest of the family did.
Okay, gotcha.
So I
Um,
remember my kids going to New York or something.
okay. So they've probably experienced this place. I was wondering if you had. Up in New York in Rockefeller Center, they have the store called a Nintendo World. It was my favorite place. Um, if you've seen any of the like Smash Brothers character reactions where like people are like gathered together and cheering, that's at the Nintendo World in New York City where they did those premieres. Um, so downstairs is where they had a lot of like the merchandise and The store, you can buy. It was almost like a gift shop dedicated to Nintendo.
Hmm.
And you can buy games, and they would have a lot of events there. We were really big into Pokemon because Pokemon Diamond had just come out, and so they had a lot of Pokemon events there that we went to. Um, and that was all on the first floor. On the second floor, you go up there, and they actually had like this museum dedicated to Nintendo stuff. And so we used to go and look at stuff up there. They never really changed stuff, but it was just cool to look at. And there was one thing that always stuck out to us. They just removed it. It was
Was
this.
it the Game Boy that got burned
Yep.
up or whatever?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was the Game Boy that got destroyed in the Gulf War, but it still works.
yeah.
And so they just removed it. And Cameron and I are like, I bet you they're moving it over here.
I would almost guarantee it.
Yeah.
So I pulled up on the screen the National Video Game Museum, and
Okay.
there's the Mario Brothers movie exhibit. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
Um,
there's the boots,
the boots.
and
You
then
know
you can
what?
see back there. There's Peach's dress and stuff. It's pretty neat.
You know what didn't register to me is those are the zappers. It's been a long time since I've seen this movie, but those are
I have
zappers.
never seen this movie, but yeah,
Oh, really?
uh,
Oh, okay.
yeah. But the video game museum, yeah, they got all these old computers and games and stuff you could play and stuff, and
Oh, that's
uh,
cool.
let's see, where's the yeah, they got the giant Pong wall. uh, yeah, that you could play all these games and stuff, and um, the giant controllers. Yeah, the timeline of the consoles, and they got an '80s bedroom with Duck Hunt set up and stuff. And
You know what's funny though? Correct me if I'm wrong. There is no bedroom in the '80s that looked as nice as that bedroom right there, right?
uh, no, it'd be like wood paneling walls and stuff, and yeah, that is not an '80s. That's a Hollywood '80s bedroom. Although
That's
the
fair.
the sports the sports pennants, those, yeah, I remember having those on the walls and stuff. Yeah, but yeah, no room looked like that. For
Well,
one thing, the room would be a lot smaller.
sure, definitely.
That room is way too big.
um, so yeah, as far as the Nintendo Direct, I think it was pretty mid as well. But it's because I'm on board. The parasite has entered my head. It has latched onto my brain. I'm on board with it. We're getting a new console next year.
Yeah, it was fine, but I also, this was the first time I felt like, oh, this is the end.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because, I mean, the Switch is such a moneymaker. Like, it is on par, if not better, than the Wii as far as sales. The Wii lasted a long time.
Yeah, it did. Well, I mean, what is this, year 8 of the Switch or something? It's been
7.
around for 7. Yeah,
I think the Wii was like 9 years though.
the Wii was, well, I was gonna say the Wii's a huge hit, but the Switch has been
Yeah,
pretty
that's what I'm
big too.
saying.
Yeah, I don't know. Uh, I mean, there's a lot of, I know, like the past few years, there's been chip shortages and all kinds of craziness. So I'll be curious to see. I mean, they're not. Well, I was going to say they're not going to launch before they're ready, but Nintendo has done that in the past. So who knows?
You know what
But
I'm really
yeah,
wondering?
yeah. Go ahead.
Is this going to be like are the graphics going to be comparable to the PS5? If that's what people were saying about Gamescom.
I don't. Not no, no, not PS5. Maybe like a PS4.5 or something.
Well, like
uh,
my thing is
if it's a
the
handheld again, like the Switch, I don't see that. I don't see how it's possible.
but let's say that it's not a handheld like the Switch and it's a home system. Do they come out with another DS?
I don't. I think this one's going to be like similar to the Switch with better graphics and more horsepower, but not that much more horsepower.
Yeah.
That would be my
That
guess.
yeah, that's it'll
Then
be a
after this consoles when you'll see something new and then a new DS or whatever would be my guess. But who knows?
yeah. Well, that's all I have to say on games. I'm excited for Spider-Man, Final Fantasy, um, and some of the Nintendo stuff, and then some of it. I guess at this point, I'm not as excited for Nintendo because now I know we're getting towards the end.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll have some surprise game before the end of the system that we'll find about that the next summer game or whatever, or maybe
Metroid
next
Prime
fall.
4.
I'm hearing that is in a I listed up like Papa Gino's and stuff, and he said that he's hearing it's in like a demoable form. That's how something they could show a trailer of.
It
Um,
wouldn't be the first time that Metroid is the last game on a Nintendo system because I remember Super Metroid was like one
hmm
of the last big games on the Super Nintendo.
hmm Yeah. So we'll see. But that is our show for tonight. I believe you are out next week. Is that correct?
Yep. Got a wedding to go
So
to.
I might throw together some type of mini show next week. We'll see. But until then, I've been Final Monkey,
And I'm Caleb.
and we thank you for coming out to the Shark Pond, and we hope you will join us again next week.
See
Later.
ya.